Hi ladies! So we're starting out by priming our face with the Glam Glow Glow Starter. And now we're priming our lids with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. We are using Morphe 35N palette today to do a soft pink look on the eyes. It's really appropriate for school or work. It's very girly, and this is a very affordable palette, so it's really like within reach for everybody. So I'm taking a neutral color and setting the lid with it. And now I'm taking a slightly deeper shade, still in the top row, so very light, and throwing that in the crease. And I'm just gonna blend. I'm using an Anastasia Beverly Hills blending brush. Now I'm taking this really beautiful pink color. It's very pigmented, it's gorgeous. And I'm going with it in the crease as well. This is a very underrated palette, but it's beautiful. So I'm taking the pink salmon shade that's right next to it. It's a little deeper and has a little bit more hint of a coral, which gives the eye look more warmth. So I am going with that, and I am gonna go into the crease and then all over the lid. So now I'm covering the lid with the pink and just blending everything to make it as seamless as possible. Now I'm digging into the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia, and I'm taking the shade Primavera. It's a little bit of a lighter shade, but it has a beautiful shimmer, not too much, but it's gorgeous. And I sprayed it with some Fix Plus. Now I'm using the Deep Plum Purpley shade from the 35N palette again, and using that in the outer crease just to smoke out the look just a little bit. You can do more or less depending on how dramatic you want the look. I opted for less just because I wanted the look to be very flirty, girly, and just very light. Now I'm going into the Chocolate Bar palette, and I'm using the Gilded Ganache shade, which is the like the lavender shimmer shade, and I use that to highlight the brow bone. Right now I am taking the Toofaced Born This Way and the Tarte Hybrid Gel Foundation and the Becca Opal Highlighter, and I'm mixing all of those up into the Bare Minerals foundation brush, and I'm using that to blend it all over my face. I've used a little bit too much and it came off a little lighter than my skin tone, but that's okay because we're going to blend it into the neck and the ears and everything, so we're going to make sure that it looks perfect. The Hybrid Gel Foundation from Tarte especially is giving me a great coverage and super porcelain flawless look, so I really enjoy that. I just used the Born This Way to make it slightly darker. So we're just going to keep blending. I'm speeding this part up a little bit because it took forever, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go in with a sponge, so I'm using the Real Techniques beauty sponge, and I'm going to pat all over everything again and lightly press it into the skin just to give it even more flawless appearance. Make sure there are no creases or any missed spots or anything like that, or any brush strokes either.
طفى ناري العينك في عيني وبتلغيه شوف البيت راح للي حبتي بتناديني التاني ليه انتي عاوزة مني ايه ما انتي خلاص حبيتي غيري انتي خلاص حبيتي غيري راح للي حبتي يلا روحي للي حبتي.
Right now, since I'm done with blending, I'm going to start correcting the eyes. So I'm using the Bobbi Brown corrector in Bisque, which is a salmon color, and I'm popping that underneath my eyes, and we'll blend it out with a beauty sponge as well.
بوقت اللحظة الحاسمة إن سألوك قول النصيب وقسمة، إذا سألوك قول النصيب وقسمة.
Now I'm gonna get started with concealing some parts of my face. So I'm using the Lancome Tint Doll Camouflage Concealer. This is a very thick, creamy concealer, so I don't like using it underneath my eyes very much, but I love using it on any blemishes or any dark spots on my face that need concealing. So, and my trick again for covering any blemishes would be to apply the concealer around the blemish and just pat it all over instead of just on top of the blemish. Now I'm just going to conceal under the eyes and get rid of those dark circles as best as I could, and the best way to do that is with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. It's, I swear, a godsend. I will definitely repurchase this over and over and over for the rest of my life. I have never found a concealer that works the same way. And I'm just patting away using the same beauty sponge from Real Techniques. And now I'm just going to bake under my eyes and my smile lines, since this is where most of the creasing happens, and I'm using La Mer powder. This powder is very expensive and definitely like not super necessary or anything. You can make do with much cheaper powders that do the same thing, but this one gives a beautiful glow to the skin and makes it look extremely flawless. So if you would like to splurge and spoil yourself with something, I would definitely recommend this one. So I'm using a damp beauty sponge and dipping it into the powder and going under my eyes, my smile lines, and will do my jawline and my chin since I touch my face a lot during the day. So I want to make sure that my foundation stays on even when I mess it up like that. So I am going with a damp beauty sponge and baking. I will be leaving this baking on for about 10 to 15 minutes, so it would set my skin as much as I can. Now I'm using Best O Color Gel liner from ColourPop, and it's like a maroon color, so it's like still like not too much, and I'm not doing the wing or anything. I am just popping it on my lash line to give it a little bit more depth. It looks really pretty though. And I'm sorry you can't really see me. My mirror, I'm holding it in my hand, so I will do my best to set it up a little bit better. Now I'm just doing my lashes. I'm using the roller lash from Benefit Cosmetics. So now it's bronzing the skin. I'm using Laguna bronzer from NARS, and I'm using a palette that I got during the Nordstrom sale. It had everything. The blushes I'm using are from Morphe. This is the 9N palette, so this is the neutral one. A tip when using this palette is to take very little by very little because it's super pigmented, so it's not the best for beginners just because you have to be very, very light-handed with it, or else you can go into clownish look very, very quickly. And one great tip, when even if you are a little heavy-handed, is to use a damp beauty sponge and tap over all the powders to like suck some of it up and to make everything blend seamlessly. Now I'm using the Hourglass Ambient Powder in Luminous Light, and I'm going to use that to kick off the bake. It also gives a really beautiful glow on the face. I am going to use the L'Oreal True Match Powder in N4 to set the rest of the face up, and also I'm going to go over the contour and blush so to tone it down a little bit. Now I'm going back into Gilded Ganache from Too Faced, and I will use that to highlight the face, and I'm doing that because I am going with a very pink look today and my hair is purple, so I wanted it to look more tied in together and just everything would match a little bit more. And this is a very intense highlight, so that's why I love it. Like, you can tell, even though my lighting isn't the greatest, when I turned around, like, my face was bam in your face. Lastly, I am just going with lipstick. This is from MAC. It was a limited edition, but I'm pretty sure they have the same color still. It's an amplified formula called Goodbye Kiss. And now I'm just going over it with lip gloss from Revlon and setting everything with a setting spray. I'm being dorky as hell. Hope you liked it. Please subscribe if you did.